When we talk about the partition of India in 1947, we usually hear about Hindus, Muslims, and Sikhs. But there was another community, small, often overlooked, caught in the middle of it all. This is the story of Punjabi Christians and what happened to them during one of the most violent migrations in human history. Before 1947, Punjab was not divided. People of different religions, Muslims, Sikhs, Hindus, and Christians, lived side by side in villages and cities. Punjabi Christians were a minority, but they were very much part of this shared culture. They spoke Punjabi, ate the same food, and lived in the same landscapes. So when partition came, what happened to them? Most Punjabi Christians were not foreigners or colonial elites. They were local people, many from marginalized backgrounds, who had converted to Christianity during British rule. They often worked as teachers, nurses, laborers, church workers. They had their own communities, but they were deeply rooted in Punjab. This was their home. The moment of partition. In 1947, British India was divided into two nations, India and Pakistan. What followed was chaos. Millions of people migrated across borders. Violence broke out on a massive scale. But here's something important. The violence was mainly between Hindus, Muslims, and Sikhs. Punjabi Christians were not seen as direct enemies by any side. They were a small minority, almost invisible in the larger conflict. So why didn't Punjabi Christians migrate in large numbers to India? There were several reasons. First, this was their home. They had land, families, and communities in what became Pakistan. Second, they were not being directly targeted like others, so there was less urgency to flee. Third, migration itself was extremely dangerous. People were being killed on trains and roads. And finally, many believed they could live safely in the new country of Pakistan. At that moment, the future was uncertain for everyone. Life after partition. After partition, most Punjabi Christians ended up in Pakistan. Over time, the situation became more complex. They remained a minority in a Muslim-majority country. Some faced social discrimination, economic challenges, limited political representation. But they also continued to contribute to society, especially in education and healthcare. Meanwhile, a smaller number of Punjabi Christians in India became part of a secular state but still faced social and caste-related challenges. The forgotten narrative. Today, when we talk about partition, the story of Punjabi Christians is rarely mentioned. They didn't migrate in massive numbers. They weren't at the center of the violence. And because of that, their story was quietly left out of history. Conclusion. The partition of 1947 didn't just divide land. It reshaped identities, communities, and lives. Punjabi Christians remind us that history is not just about the largest groups, but also about those who lived through it silently. If you found this story interesting, consider subscribing for more untold histories. Because sometimes the most important stories are the ones we forget to tell.